Welcome to FireTalk, where we give you the latest news updates on Southeastern University athletics. I'm Ken Ingle, president of Southeastern University, and joining me, as always, is Drew Watson, our amazing athletics director. Good to see you, Drew.
Good to see you.
It's always good to be back with you for what? This is season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2 already. It's great.
Yes.
How have you been?
Been busy. Students are back. We had the fall athletes back the last 3 weeks, and we're ready to go.
And they're already working out in a lot of heat.
Yeah, yes.
So they're getting fired up, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been hotter. It seems like it's been hotter this summer, and of course Clay knows that. More specifically than we do. But
well, as I said, this is the first episode of the year. We have the fall sports season starting up soon with 2 of our teams playing actually this weekend. Mm-hmm. And the first home event of the season will be this Friday when our men's soccer team takes the field against Rollins College in an exhibition match. Drew, I believe they call that a friendly in the soccer world.
They do.
Right?
They do call that a friendly, and I've seen some of them, and they're not so friendly.
I bet.
They're pretty intense, so... Not sure why they call it that.
It's going to be great. Looking forward to that. And since the men's soccer is the first home event, our first guest of the year is with us, Clay Roberts, our men's soccer coach. Clay, great to have you with us. How was your summer?
It was great, Dr. Ingle. Thanks for having me. And summer went by so quick. You know, there's always a moment to spend time with the family and try to find some rest. But then with a fall sport, men's soccer, you're kind of right back in preseason mode. Middle of the summer, and you're getting the final plans put together. And so it was great. It went by really quickly, but it was fantastic. We've got a great group of new players, a lot of new players that came in this year. So there was a lot to prep for. But the excitement is definitely in the room. Around men's soccer.
Well, that's great. Before we get to talking about soccer in detail, tell us a little bit about you. Like, how did you come to Southeastern? How long you been here? What brought you here? All that good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, Southeastern. I'm a Lakeland guy. I went to Florida Southern. So after Florida Southern, I went up the East Coast playing professionally, and that's where you and I ran into each other and met each other in Philadelphia. And God kind of always has a fun story, doesn't he? When you're able to look back on it and reflect and say, why was this guy put in my path? And after Philadelphia. You had made your way down here and to Florida, and we were making a return home basically from Philadelphia and starting to raise our family. And so Central Florida was a destination for us, and at the time was still in professional soccer and the trials that come with that. Trying to raise a family, being gone, it's a lot of a big ask and just a sacrifice. And so just God had a great way of you becoming a director of athletics and extending a call, and just really felt a lot of peace about the opportunity at Southeastern, and 10 years later we're rocking and rolling.
Wow, it's crazy. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. Wow. Hey, the 23 season is upon us, and the guy's been on campus now about 3 weeks and working in preseason. How's the preseason going? And what's your take on the team?
I think we're going to be good. We've got a lot of new players in the team, and so COVID allowed some years, some extra years, I should say, for players, and those that took advantage of that, they've extended their college career, and so those are starting to time out. We're kind of for our roster anyhow, and so we had a plethora of open roster spots and a lot of recruitment that went last year, and so to get them all on campus at the beginning of preseason is always fun, right? That's the fun part, just getting them in the same room and saying, here's our vision, and then seeing them start to mold together is for me the best part about preseason. The hard work and the planning is there, and so to see that, to use your term, framework put together, that's what we love to see, and so it becomes really easy because we can really put the emphasis on, hey, what we're able to do on a field, the talents that we have are there, but we got to want to do it for each other. And so that continuity that you start to build, the team unity, it's so important, to be able to touch that in preseason. And the guys have been getting after it. It's been hot, it's been hot
definitely
out there. But, because of the great resources that we have here and the great partners that we have with Just Move even, we've utilized that. So the days that we were really hot out there, we took the whole team over to the facility and utilized their cardio machines. And it was really fun. We've already built some great relationships there off campus. So it's been a really unique come together time for our new athletes and returners, different than years past. So they've been working hard. We've got a game obviously coming up on Friday. We've already had one. We were able to play USF in a scrimmage, kind of off the book scrimmage. scrimmage in which our starters did a fantastic job. We pulled them off the field. We played them about 70 minutes out of the 90. You were there.
Yeah.
You know, we were 2-1 when we yanked them all off. So, you know, to be that close and in comparison, you know, making a lot of mistakes still early on, we kind of, you know, trial by fire, put them in there and let's see what they're capable of. You know, it's for us as well. You know, we have a lot of new players. Let's learn about them. So we're excited about Friday. We've had some time now since that initial game to prepare and further kind of come together and see what it's going to look like. So I think Friday night will be a good test to say, hey, this is a step in the right direction, you know, for us as we get started into Sun Conference play.
Yeah, that's great.
So that actually was friendly. There wasn't any intensity. I mean, it was a great soccer match.
We made a behind-the-scene deal, right? The coach and I before. Yeah. Bob is a great friend, and actually some of his players I've coached, you know, in other areas, and so it's a unique connection out there. And so we both were going into it with the same mindset. Hey, let's see what our teams are about. Let's learn. Let's not, you know, make it as competitive as they can be, as you've seen. But this Friday. It might be a little different.
It might be a little different, yeah. Well, when I coached 15 years. New seasons always come with new excitement, new faces, new challenges. One of the challenges, I think, in getting a new group to play together is just you've got a lot of people coming from different areas, different walks, different perspective. Now, what have you done in this preseason to really start to gel the team and get them working together?
Yeah, you know, you got to get them out of their comfort zone. You know, when you have a lot of new players trying to mix in with the returners, naturally you're going to, you know, those returners are going to go to their comfort zone. New players who've made a connection where, you know, we have a very diverse team. We've got guys from all over the world, from Italy, from Brazil, from Mexico, from England. Naturally, there comes that, that comfort zone, just, hey, we speak the same language, so that I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of go to your corner. And we'll get comfortable, but that's always going to happen in the first couple of days. So we let it happen. It helps them transition from being gone from home or just a welcoming to SEU. But then we kind of blow that up real quick, you know, and they have to eat with a new member of the team in the meal time. They've got to tell us one good thing about or one thing they've learned about someone they didn't know to shout out, kind of a shout out style before practice. So there's some just fun things. You know, we try to keep it lighthearted because that's what community is about, right? You know, I dropped my kids off at youth group, now a 13-year-old, you know, and for him, it's about, hey, go have fun, go meet somebody. You know, the word of God is going to come around that at some point, but that initial comfort level, you know, he's got to be able to break that wall down. We do the same thing with the guys. And so they did that really quickly, probably quicker than I imagined, you know, with so many new players and new faces. And so there's a great energy in the group, a great excitement about this upcoming season.
That's great.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the players that make up this team. Who should we be keeping an eye on as far as a guy who others will look to as maybe the leader on the club? You know, talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, we have some really high impact returners. You know, we're bringing back Eduardo Venatolo. He is our top goal scorer. He's 6'5". You know, you can't miss him out on a soccer field. It looks like he should be, shooting a jump shot in the gym. You know, he just looks different, you know, on a soccer field. But he's our big guy. He's our big gun, and you know, everybody knows that as well, and so he wears that really proudly. But we've been able to bring some fun players around him. We have a player, we call him Rock. He's from Brazil. His name's Roque Viegas Jr. But Rock does a great job. You know, he is a very talented player. He transferred to us from a Division I school, and so he's coming in and just provides a big talent that kind of works really well with Eduardo. Both those guys were all all tournament team last year in our conference tournament. Did a great job. But we've got some fun new incoming players. We've got some transfers in from Lindsey Wilson, who are predominantly, you know, a top 10 program, and they were last year for them. A goalkeeper's name's Enrique Cavallini, and Victor Cavalcante. I'm going to get that one. I'm still getting that one to roll off the tongue, you know. I just call him Vic, so it makes it easy. But Victor, you know, he's an attacking midfielder, just a tremendous talent. So a big, strong voice in the back, a vocal leader and a goalkeeper, and a really talented player. So kind of up the spine, you know, that's kind of like any sport, you know, up the spine is kind of where your strongest are. But those guys are going to be players that everyone will be looking out for.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I'm excited to see it roll out here. You know, you sit here as a coach in preseason, you're putting your pieces on the board, and then to see it actually, you know, work out is exciting. So no one has a crystal ball. It's sports, right? That's what makes it exciting. But what do you see? Who are our biggest challenges as far as opponents this year? And how do what are the keys to success as we roll out this season?
Yeah. Every year you look back and say, where did we miss, in the last one? And the great thing about a fall sport is you have all spring. Spring is the development semester. You get bigger, stronger, faster. You focus on where you failed in the fall. And for us, we didn't fail. We just missed the mark. And so the word of the year is fantastic, game-changing moments. And what are those going to be? Last year, when we look back and reflect on last year, the national champion was Bethel University. Right? That was also one of our first games of the year up there. So we traveled all the way there, a big trip for us to tie them 2-2. So we're tying the national champion 2-2. Go back a previous season. Kaiser was, fortunate to win the national champ. We tied them here on our campus during the regular season. St. Thomas, they've just been a nemesis, for us. It's either them or us that kind of get us there. And last year in the penalty kick shootout semifinal, they get, the upper hand on us, and tied them twice during the year. So our group has always been right there. And we feel like we've brought some really great impact players in this year to kind of help us jump that hurdle. But that has been a point of emphasis from day one to make sure that we win the big game, that we don't miss the moment, and whatever that detail is that's going to shift that game-changing moment has to be in our favor. Because it just wasn't enough to win that game. We were just tying. Nobody likes to tie a game. You play all that, and it's one of the sports only that has a tie. I don't think of another sport that has that.
I don't love it.
It's so frustrating. You play all that time to walk away and go, okay. And so, but that just leaves that little detail. And so that's the room that we're trying to work on. That's the little bit of emphasis, that you're focusing on in preseason that hopefully we can jump that hurdle this year. So we're going to be right there.
Like in Patriot, that he says, aim small, miss small.
Exactly.
And so, I think it's tough to keep student athletes focused on what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And so I like that. I like the focus on here's specific moments in the season that are big for us, and let's step up, rise up to the occasion in those moments. So that's great.
Coach Clay, thank you for joining us on Fire Talk today.
Thank you.
Got an amazing season ahead, so the best to you as you start this new.
Appreciate it. Thank that, Dr. Ingle.
Good luck.
Already. Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Between work and to-do lists, Publix knows your time is valuable. Let them help you regain time in your day by delivering groceries to your door. Learn more at Publix.com/shop. All right, Drew, by my count, we have, 5 other sports who have their championship season in the fall. I would hope that you can name them all. Can you do that?
I think so.
You better.
I would hope so. So fire football.
Absolutely.
Women's soccer, men's and women's cross country, and volleyball. Are the 5. And
Excellent.
I didn't read that off the screen.
All right. Well, let's take them in order and talk about what we can expect. Let's first talk football. Fall means football here in the South, and we're excited to see the team play this year. What many don't know is that this is the 10th anniversary of Fire football. That's just hard to believe.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Tell us a little about what's in store as we celebrate this big milestone.
Well, if you remember when you got here, where Victory Field sits now was a soccer field.
Exactly.
And so to drive down Longfellow now and have that Victory Field be literally the front porch, the university is Victory Field. It's just a great testament to what, the leadership that you've provided and just, and Dr. Owen and just rolling out football, because a lot of people are doubters.
Right.
When you first do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They say football is going to ruin your culture at campus, and you don't have what it takes to do this, and just so I give you a lot of credit for a lot of people have been calling for football a long time, and nobody had the courage to try and pull it off, and you did. So just a lot of credit to you and the leadership at that time for Dr. Owen was big in the vision, like when people show up at football now and see the flames coming out of the scoreboard and off the field.
I mean, our game experience is unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's Dr. Owen. I mean, that came from his mind. Right. So, a lot of collaboration went into this. So it's fun to look back on 10 years ago when we had rooms full of people from everywhere on campus wanting to get involved in how we make this a success. And so, looking back on that, it's just really exciting. I can't believe it's been 10 years. But what we're going to do, we're going to commemorate that our 10-year anniversary on September 2nd, the home opener. We're going to have basically an inside tailgate for members of that first team.
Oh, wow.
Coach Bearfield and a lot of the coaches from that time are coming back to get back together, and just we're really excited to honor them. Coach Bearfield's going to get the game ball that night, and so just bringing how it started all back full circle. And having those guys back our first game, we're really excited about that.
And over the 10 years, I mean, how many conference championships have we won?
5.
5. I mean, that's amazing for a program that young to accomplish that. And we made the national playoffs at least once, right, during that process?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. Twice, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, just great success in the entire program. And, of course, that's a testament to your leadership as well as athletic director and bringing in the right coaches and just making it all happen. So we're excited now. The team's been back for, about 2-3 weeks now? Yep. And what's the buzz around the team?
Well, exciting things are going on with this program. I'll start with retention.
Okay.
As you know, the key to making things work and building a foundation is having the right people back. And so this team has the highest retention that we've had in our whole 10 years.
Wow.
You look at in the spring we had 80-something players, back on campus. And so that's led here into the fall. And it's really created a foundation for success, and it's very, very exciting.
Now, what about our schedule? What's that look like for the team?
Got a tough schedule this year, as Coach likes to remind me.
Yeah.
We start with D2 Savannah State in our home opener. That's that September 2nd game. Yep. Then we go on the road to face Reinhardt, which is one of the teams we played in the playoffs a few years ago, and Faulkner. Okay. There's a bye week in between there, but Faulkner is where we had our first game in our history 10 years ago. So, returning to the scene of our first ever contest is exciting. Then our conference schedule starts. Yeah. We've got a new team on our schedule. Thomas University in Thomasville, Georgia, has started football. Okay. So they're coming to Lakeland on October, I believe it's the 14th. But then, conference play is tough because we've got Kaiser, who was played for the national championship last year in football, and St. Thomas that missed the playoffs, but should have been there, to be honest. So, this is not an easy schedule, but we're excited to see what this provides for the team as far as an opportunity to succeed. Yeah.
What's one big headline coming out of camp that we should be paying attention to?
Well, there are 3 quarterbacks. Well, there's more than 3 quarterbacks, but there's 3 quarterbacks that are really vying for the starting job. Hudson Jones, who's our returning starter. Henry Alstad, who stepped in for Hudson a couple games last year. He's in his 3rd year. And Nate Hayden, who's a new face. He's a transfer from Presbyterian College. And the thing you hear on Nate, he's got a big arm. And so all 3 of these guys are working hard. There's good chemistry in the quarterback room. But it's going to be interesting to see who wins the battle is named the starter. But depth is nice to have, as you know.
Right, absolutely.
The other thing I would say, one more exciting thing about this team is the coordinators. We have new coordinators on both sides of the ball. Mike Canales, who's been at D1, was at Tennessee, has a lot of good experience, comes in to be offensive coordinator. And the defensive coordinator is our homegrown William Henry, who came up as a coach in our program and was earned and was given the defensive coordinator job. So really excited to see what those guys are going to be able to do.
Yeah, it should be an exciting season. I hope everyone comes out for our home opener. Like you said, Drew, it's September 2nd, 7 p.m. against Savannah State.
Exciting. Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about women's soccer. The team starts the season ranked 11th in the nation in the preseason poll. What's the prognosis for the 23 season for this team?
Well, I've seen women's soccer a few times now. I went to practice. I saw them in a meeting we had yesterday. A lot of new faces. They brought in a lot of freshmen transfers, grad students who are looking to continue what this program's done the past few years. The focus for Coach Roberts and the team has been the culture, like really focusing on the culture. He's trying to get both the returners and new additions to understand the impact that playing for something greater than themselves will have for this season. And I showed up at a really funny moment. I show up at practice. I try and show up at practice, for each team in the preseason. I drove the bus for men's soccer when they went to USF, just try and spend time with them. So I get to women's soccer and I say, hey, got a question for you guys. Why'd you choose SEU? Yeah. And all of a sudden everybody starts laughing. And coach is like, and I said, what's funny? They said, every practice, 3 of us have to answer that question. So coach's focus is, even though different things might have brought you here to Southeastern, you're brought here for a reason. Yeah. And my point to them that in asking that question is a lot of people look at, hey, what can Southeastern give me? Why did I choose Southeastern? But the question is really, what can they give to Southeastern? Because the students make Southeastern.
Right.
So a lot of times student athletes go, well, I picked Southeastern for this or that, but if they focus on what they can give to their team and to the athletic department, we become a better university. And so it's really exciting to see that happening. Coach focus on that culture building, but the schedule's tough for this team. I mean, they're going to be motivated to play at Thanksgiving and beyond in the NAI National Tournament. That ends at Orange Beach, Alabama. So that's their goal.
Yeah.
Get to Orange Beach.
Yeah. And who will be the toughest competition?
Kaiser is ranked 3 in the country right now. So in conference, it's typically Kaiser. Now, women's soccer has tightened a little bit. It's really gotten really good in the conference. So you've got Kaiser, you've got St. Thomas, you've got SCAD Savannah, who are all really going to vie for a top spot here.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about men's and women's cross country. Both teams are picked to win the Sun Conference in the preseason poll. So tell us a little bit about these teams.
Well, we'll go ladies first on this one.
Okay.
The women's team is this year is young. They graduate 4 of their top 7 runners.
Wow.
With many of their top runners being juniors and sophomores this year. Excited to see some runners who were not previously in the top 7 see what they can do if they can step up in the new role. Looking to get back to the top of the Sun Conference. Their main challenge is going to be SCAD. SCAD is deep. Their experience, and that's going to be the main challenge for the women.
Yeah. What about the men's team?
Men have the largest team in program history, 22 guys. So, as you just said, they're picked to win the Sun Conference. They bring back everyone from last year, including individual Sun Conference champion John Perez Dunn, who had a tremendous race in that final last year, plus some new young talent. So, guys look to move up in the national poll. They finished 29th in the NAI National Championship meet last year. So, when you've got the core coming back, it's always the focus is always, hey, look at what we did last year. Let's eclipse that.
Yeah.
So it's exciting for those guys.
Bring it to another level. Well, let's talk about volleyball. The volleyball team starts their season actually this weekend as they travel to Milligan University to play 4 matches. What about this team?
Well, Coach Goldsberry, she likes these early season long trips.
Okay.
So when you're driving from Lakeland to Tennessee, a lot of time to figure out what the team's about, get some bonding in. But it's a tough tournament they're going to. They'll play 2 Friday, 2 on Saturday. They got a receiving votes team and the 12th ranked team in Taylor University that they're playing actually in the last match of that trip. So it's exciting to start like that. When you don't start easy, you start tough. Just throw them right in.
Yep.
Team brought in more transfers than usual this year, and they're already making a big impact. You've got Tatiana Lyons, Cambry Pope, Olivia Williams. They're setting a high bar with great leadership and competitive play. Those 3, you mix new with old. Those 3 mixed with returning key stars like Grace Petty, Allie Postlewaite, Amelia Harding, Chapel Cunningham.
Yep.
Man, this team's going to be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great season for the team. Hey, that wraps up the fall sports. Is there anything else we need our listeners to know as we head into it?
Actually, there are a couple things. First, we have 2 new sports in fire athletics.
Okay.
One that's not new to Southeastern, but new to the athletic family.
Athletic family. Okay.
Esports.
Esports, that's right.
So esports was a club. They were under student development. They're now coming over to athletics. Great to see those guys in the room. And just, it brings a different element to our athletic department. We're excited about that. But bass fishing has been much heralded.
That's right. Yep.
So they've got their first tournament September 8th in Texas.
Yeah.
They're not a fall sport, but they're going to throw the lines in the water, see what they got.
Yeah.
Coming up here in a couple weeks. So that's exciting.
No, that's going to be great. And there's a bit of rumor out there, and maybe you can help a little bit. Possibly a club team in pickleball.
Yeah, pickleballs. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. So yeah, we have tennis courts on campus.
Right. Oh yeah, they're packed always.
They're packed with pickleballers and tennis players.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of a turf war going on.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
The tennis players, they need to practice, and the pickleball players, they're. It's like, and I don't say this in a negative way, but it's kind of like a cult following.
Exactly.
People either love pickleball or you don't really get into it. So, we're excited about pickleball, and who knows what the future holds. But I think, the interest on campus has exploded.
Yeah. No.
So a club really makes sense at this time in our our development here.
Yeah, we'll see how that rolls out. Well, hey, we've had a jam-packed show today. I want to thank you for joining us as we close the show. I want to remind you to come out to the men's soccer match on Friday. Make plans to attend our football home opener on September 2nd. Until then, make sure you visit seufire.com for the latest news in Fire athletics. You can find the event calendar there as well as a link to watch all of our home games. Good luck to all of our teams as they start a brand new season.
So
Thank you,
exciting.
everyone. Yeah, it's going to be great. Go Fire.
Go Fire.